we have these dissidents who are out trying to create a reaction from people within the Protestant community. Could I say to young fellows, and I'm not trying to be patronising, but there is people out there who are looking to respond to the dissidents or to the Republicans or whatever you want to call them. Could I say that's not the way to go? Probably for the first time in the history of this country, we are now winning. I don't know if we'll ever get these people into the court of law, but I do know we are winning when it comes to the World Court of what took place in Northern Ireland. The history is finally starting to be told. And my advice to young people, if you're approached by individuals, don't get involved with them. Get involved instead with your history, your culture, whatever it is. If somebody wants to teach you about who you are and where you come from, get involved in that, because we have one of the proudest histories or cultures in the world. The IRA will realise that their conflict is futile. It is only as long as they think there's a chance of United Ireland will they continue. But if they see a people who know their history and know their culture, know where they're going and where they're coming from, they will realise we can't beat these people. And they will realise that their conflict is futile. They need a response, and they're hoping that some Protestant somewhere will decide to retaliate. I'm saying that is not the way to go. The way to go is exactly the way the victims are going, and that is to use the media, start to learn your history, your culture, because there's nowhere in the world can match our history and our culture. And I would ask our young people, especially people who are in the bands and involved in the others and things like that, to get involved and start to teach or get taught their history. And in turn they can teach it to other people, because that's how we're going to win this. This is how we're going to beat terrorism. That if we learn who we are and where we come from. And I would ask you not to give any credence to the Republicans by retaliating for their actions, because that is not the way to go. Let's use democracy to its full capability. Let's get out there and tell the story of the Ulsterman, who we are and what we are. Could I just give you an example of what can be achieved without the use of violence? We've cost the Republican cause millions, where we've pushed to get assets froze, to get their fuel seized. So that gives you an example. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 million, we're talking about millions, where we've pushed and pushed until the police or the government had no choice but to set up the agency that they set up, and also they've had to move because they're under that much pressure. We told them if they didn't move, we were going to expose the whole thing anyway. So, that gives you an example. And whenever you hit them in the pocket, that hurts them more than anything else. So if you have information about things going on, give it to us or give it to people who'll make use of it. And I can assure you that hitting them in the pocket hurts them a lot more than anything else. And we have taken millions away from them through the smuggling, stopping smuggling in some places, or getting boys caught. And I'm not afraid to say it. So I would say to you, just take a look at what we have achieved through not using violence, but using democracy and the rule of law. Is Alan McBride on this morning? I had a number of our own members and other people from Belfast, and especially a few families from the Shankill bomb, ringing me very distressed about this attitude that they're all supposed to accept, and about that they're doing wrong because they haven't moved on. Well, I've assured them they're not doing wrong. That because they're not shaking the hands of Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness means that they're not shaking the hands of the men who've got the blood of their loved ones on it. And if Alan's at a stage where he feels he can do that, well and good, that's up to him. But I don't know if there's any other families in the Shankill bomb who would feel the same. We certainly speak to a number of them, and they certainly do not feel like that. Not because they don't want to move on, but because the people who carried out them actions deemed them necessary and right, and that they were justified in them actions. So when you're shaking the hand of them people, they believed that they had a right to do it. And more importantly, they believe if they needed to go back to do it again, they will. And that's the problem. That's giving justification to the cause that these people used, the justification they used to murder the people in the first place. Now, the people I've spoken to this morning certainly will not give no justification to no murdering terrorist who still believes that he has the right to use violence. And this is the thing that Alan doesn't understand. Yeah, we can all elevate ourselves to a position where we're made welcome and everybody's our friend because we're seen to be embracing everybody. Well, I certainly don't need any more new friends, especially ones like Martin McGuinness and Gerry Adams. You can keep them, because as long as anybody holds a right to use violence in the name of United Ireland or to murder people from my community or my family, I'll be shaking no hand of any of them. And it's quite easy to move on when people no longer have any cause to stand for. Alan has made his position quite clear that he doesn't have a problem with United Ireland. Well, that's fair enough, that's his position. I do have a problem with United Ireland, and the majority of people from my community have a problem with the United Ireland, because that's what they were murdered about. That's what Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness and them used the violence to try and achieve, is United Ireland. Now Alan says he's happy enough with United Ireland. Well, that's your decision, Alan. But don't tell us that we should move on. Not while people are still trying to take our country away from us and still believe that they can go out and murder and maim if they don't achieve that. That's the difference between yourself and us, Alan. We want to move on, but the terrorists are the people who haven't moved. They're the ones that have to move first and foremost. We cannot give them the justification for their actions, and unfortunately, Alan, that's what you've done, and that's what you are doing. You like it or lump it, but that's your decision. You know, nobody can tell you not to do it or to do it. That's up to you. But to talk about the rest of us need to do it, you couldn't be farther from the truth. We will not bow the knee to terrorists. Let them be acting politicians at this particular time or not. At the end of the day, their mindset has not changed. They still believe they have the right to murder and maim in the name of United Ireland, and that their actions, that the planting of the bomb on the Shankill Road and the burning down of the Le Mans Hotel and the Kingsmill Massacre and the Darkley Massacre, all them things were necessary in the name of their United Ireland. Now, until they change that view and that opinion, I will not shake, and neither will the majority of the innocent victims, shake the hands of people who have the blood of our loved ones dripping from them. That all said and done, Alan, you are where you are, but the majority of the Protestant people are not where you are. And as a matter of fact, I would say it'd be a long, long time unless Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness and them change their approach. They're the people that need to move on, not us. Them. They cannot justify the murder of our people, of women and children, the Protestant communities, and even a lot of people from the nationalist community. Because a lot of good Catholics were murdered by the IRA as well. And as a matter of fact, there's a lot of good Catholics who would say they're disgusted at people who give justification to terrorists. But with that all said and done, I just want to say this, Alan, you can do whatever you want, and you can move on whatever way you want, which you have done, and that's fair enough. But we're not prepared to sit down with the people who have butchered us while they still believe they hold that right, because nobody, but nobody, has the right to murder, especially innocent women and children, while they're out doing a day's shopping or while they're in getting a fish supper. So, it's like one woman said to me this morning, she was ashamed to say she knew you.